Heroes are everywhere. We grow up with them in stories, games, movies, and books. And even as adults, we still care about them. We root for them, we defend them, and sometimes we may even argue about them online. But why? I think part of the reason is that heroes reflect something very human. They represent our hope that good can win, that meaning exists, and that one person can make a difference, even when things feel overwhelming. Heroes don't have to be perfect. In fact, most of the heroes we remember aren't. They struggle, fail, hesitate, or doubt themselves, but they still move forward, and that's what makes them relatable. Across cultures and history, this idea keeps repeating. The hero is one of the oldest and most universal archetypes we have. It appears in ancient myths, modern movies, psychology, and even business storytelling. The details change, but the core stays the same. Someone faces a challenge, steps into responsibility, and changes something, either in themselves, the world, or both. That's what this video is about. Hi, I'm May. Today we'll look at different kinds of heroes, how they're portrayed in stories, or how they show up in real life even, and how these ideas can shape how we see ourselves today. Let's start with a simple question. What actually makes someone a hero? A hero can be seen as someone who acts in a way that helps others, which may come with a personal cost. This doesn't automatically mean saving the world. Sometimes it's much smaller than that. A hero often is the main character of a story, someone who overcomes obstacles and someone who stands in opposition to something harmful, destructive, or unjust. This is where the idea of good and evil comes in. Most hero stories are built around contrast. A hero doesn't exist in isolation. They exist because there is something wrong, broken, or dangerous that needs to be confronted. Villains usually represent selfishness, corruption, fear, or destruction, while heroes represent responsibility, courage, and care for others. What's interesting is that heroes aren't always good in a perfect sense. Many stories show heroes making mistakes or starting from the wrong motivations. What matters is the direction they move in. This can be important because it makes hero stories feel more human and not idealized. For the first character design, the archetype is based on something called chronic hero syndrome or the ace archetype. This character is confident, ambitious, dominant, highly capable. They're the kind of person who feels responsible for everything. They want to solve every problem, fix every situation, and prove their worth through action. What makes this archetype interesting is that the struggle isn't external, it's internal. This character doesn't necessarily need to defeat a villain. Instead, their journey is about realizing that they don't need to constantly prove their value to deserve existence or respect. To me, this character would have a rather sharp, at times cold or extreme personality because of the strong determination and ambition to always do what's correct as idealistic hero. In the outfit, I wanted to show this by adding many sharp shapes. There are also some dynamic, flowy forms as I expect him to be this constantly adapting person, able to adjust his actions based on current situations, so it aligns with his ideals. He also has an umbrella with him, for example. I could even see him offering this umbrella to some person in case it rains at some point, and then getting a new umbrella to wear immediately, so he's ready to help again. Then, since we're talking about heroes as characters, not just humans in the real world, I also thought this could be connected to a superpower. That the umbrella, when he wears it, could also function as many other things, maybe a slicer, a mechanical tool, and so on, whatever would be most practical in his situation. This is indicated beneath the umbrella handle part of the design, as the umbrella part transforms into this kind of split up shape part. The bag on the coat at the left would also be a symbol for him always having some tools to carry with him to help in multiple different scenarios. Through his striving for perfection and idealism, he wants to be prepared for anything. He may seem strict and authoritative, but parts like the loose belt from his coat or the fact that only one button of the coat is closed signal that he's willing to adapt, a quick thinker. His square but dynamic glasses, shapes, and black and white pants further indicate both of these sides, adding eccentricity and contrast. The character here has a strong structured appearance, clean lines, confident posture, and elements that visually communicate control and competence. Everything about the character suggests reliability and capability, but the strength also hints at pressure. This character is someone who might burn out, take on too much, or feel like resting equals failure. The character development may mostly happen on the inside here. The world around the character may stay the same, but their understanding of themselves shifts. In stories, heroes and villains often mirror each other. They might have similar abilities, intelligence, or power, but their intent is different. Villains usually act for control, ego, fear, or personal gain. Heroes act for protection, responsibility, or service, even if they struggle along the way. What's important is that heroes are rarely flawless. Many hero stories show that what separates a hero from a villain isn't perfection, but choice. Do they choose to grow? Do they take responsibility? Do they act beyond themselves? This is why we want heroes to succeed, not because they are perfect, but because they represent the possibility that we could make better choices too. And this idea doesn't just exist in fiction. Next, let's look at this question. Why do we actually root for heroes? Why do we want them to succeed, even when we know they're fictional? One big reason is that many hero stories follow a pattern we recognize, something often called the hero's journey. This structure shows up in myths, movies, games, books, and even real-life stories. At the start, the hero is usually just normal. They live in their ordinary world. Then something happens, a problem, a loss, a threat, and suddenly they're pushed out of their comfort zone. They don't always want to go, sometimes they resist, sometimes they feel unqualified or scared, but eventually they step forward. This moment matters because it mirrors real life. We all face moments where we're asked to grow, change, or take responsibility, even when we don't feel ready. Heroes struggle, they fail, they doubt themselves, but they keep moving. And this may be why we care. We see parts of ourselves in them. The heroes we connect with most don't have to be the strongest ones. They're the ones who learn, who are shaped by what they go through. The second character design represents a hero archetype that's connected to change through action, someone whose journey affects the outside world more than their inner personality. I also based this design on the lucky or unintentional hero archetype, someone whose actions just often seem to lead to something good and improvement. This hero character here would be very kind and helpful, someone who's always ready to give someone a hand. At times this character may mean well but be too forthcoming, being a bit too intrusive maybe, but because of having a lot of good luck when this character helps someone, it tends to work out nicely, and the willingness to help is what also makes the character someone others look up to. Design-wise, I wanted to convey the open and friendly nature of this character by adding rounded and flowery shapes. The blue bright tones add a calming feel, while the orange ones add liveliness and warmth. The two bags at the pants may include some helpful tools, and with the asymmetry of the outfit, I also wanted to show the unexpected luck this character can have. This type of hero might already be kind, brave, or determined from the beginning. What changes isn't who they are, it's what exists around them because of their actions. It's a character who may not change much internally, but reshape the world through their presence. Design-wise, this character reflects adaptability and movement. The outfit suggests readiness, not flashy power but practicality, layered clothing, comfortable wear, and elements that imply travel or long journeys. This kind of hero doesn't wait for the world to fix itself, they respond to what's broken. What I find interesting about this archetype is that it shows how heroism doesn't always require deep inner transformation. Sometimes it's about showing up consistently, even when the task feels endless. This character's growth is visible in the environment they leave behind, safer places, restored balance, or hope where there was none. Not all heroes look the same. Some heroes have obvious powers, strength, magic, speed, intelligence, others don't. Some heroes are chosen, others stumble into responsibility, some lead armies, others help quietly in the background. Heroes can be grouped in many ways. Here are some examples. The warrior who fights directly, the protector who defends others, the guide who leads without being in the spotlight, or the everyday hero who helps in small but meaningful ways. And not all heroes are fearless. In fact, fear is often part of what makes them heroic. I think this matters because it expands the idea of who can be a hero. It's not limited to strength, popularity, or talent. Some heroes change the world. Some heroes change themselves. Some heroes help others survive another day. This variety can make hero stories feel more inclusive, like there's space for different kinds of people. When we talk about heroes, it's easy to think of fictional worlds first, games, movies, books, but heroism doesn't belong to fiction alone. In real life, heroes often don't wear capes or wield swords. They're remembered for courage, conviction, or perseverance. Especially in moments where doing the right thing came with real risk. Figures like Martin Luther King Jr. can be called heroes not because they were flawless, but because they stood firm in what they believed was right even when it was costly. His courage wasn't about power, it was about consistency, sacrifice, and hope. Someone like Albert Einstein represents a different kind of hero archetype, not someone who changed the world through conflict, but through understanding. His legacy shows that intellect, curiosity, and persistence can shape the future just as much as physical strength. And then there are heroes we don't tend to name individually, firefighters running into danger while others escape, nurses working long hours, caring for people at their most vulnerable states, or police officers stepping into unpredictable situations to protect others. Then this whole topic reminded me of the song Hero by Skillet, which also mentions different qualities a hero may have. To me, there's a reason songs like Hero resonate with so many people, because the idea of someone showing up when things fall apart feels very human. These forms of real-life heroism remind us that bravery isn't always loud, sometimes it's repetitive, sometimes it's exhausting, sometimes it's unnoticed. This third character design reflects a pacifist hero and someone who may not actively or visibly engage with the world around them as much. Unlike the previous archetypes, this one may not be as defined by destiny or supernatural ability. This hero represents responsibility, someone who chooses to act, not because they're chosen, but because they care. What I like about this type of more passive hero is that it feels more attainable for someone more introverted and not as social just like me. It doesn't demand greatness, it asks for presence, reliability, compassion, doing what you can do in your own way, in your own space. This character represents someone who changes both the world around them, even if only a little, and their inner life through commitment and responsibility. They might feel tired, they might doubt themselves, but they keep showing up. Personality-wise, this character is a lot less outgoing than the other two characters. I imagine a calmness and peacefulness radiating and affecting the way the character behaves and talks. Nothing seems to be able to shake or trouble the character. I could see the character spending a lot of time on projects or working alone, and through the personality, what the character creates or makes them a hero. It may help others or contribute in other meaningful ways. The reserved and peaceful, gentle energy is shown in the flowy clothing. There are many ruffles and a long cape that looks a bit like a comfortable blanket. This character in a way is comforting to the others around. Then you may have noticed many flowy shapes and some paper crafts at the pants. I thought what this character does could be tied to paper crafts or some form of theatrical performance. The cape part is a bit of a tribute to how many superheroes can have capes. The design and what the character does as a hero should have an uplifting effect to me. Then there are the heroes who never make headlines, family members who support us quietly, teachers who believe in us before we believe in ourselves, friends who stay when life gets heavy. These people rarely call themselves heroes, and that's often what makes their actions meaningful. I think this is where hero stories really connect with everyday life. Not everyone will change history, but everyone has moments where their choices matter deeply to someone else. Small acts, listening, helping, encouraging, don't look heroic in movies, but they shape lives in lasting ways. We could find heroes in a person helping another person cross the street in our day-to-day lives, someone offering an umbrella, picking up trash, and so on. We all can be small, everyday heroes in this sense. And maybe many of us want to see ourselves as heroes in some way, not because we want praise, but because we want our lives to mean something. Hero stories reflect such a desire. They show us that even flawed people can do good, that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's acting despite it. One thing I've noticed while working on this video is how much hero archetypes emphasize purpose. Heroes usually discover why they're where they are and how their abilities can serve something beyond themselves. This is an idea that shows up across stories, cultures, and even real-life examples. And maybe it's one of the reasons why hero narratives never disappear, because people are always searching for meaning, direction, and hope. Now I want to shift to a hero you may already have heard of, Link from The Legend of Zelda. To me, when I hear the word hero, he is one of the first things that comes to mind. Link is interesting because he doesn't fit the loud, dominant hero stereotype. He rarely speaks, he doesn't seek attention, he's often described as a chosen hero, but what stands out to me is how quiet his heroism is. It may also help to make the player of the Zelda games put themselves more into Link's shoes. You get to live out being a hero by playing as Link, in a sense. In most Zelda games, Link is placed into a world already broken. Evil exists before he arrives. His role isn't to dominate the world, it's to restore balance. What makes Link feel heroic isn't a dramatic personality shift, but his willingness to act. He helps strangers, he takes responsibility, he keeps going even when the task feels overwhelming. And depending on the game, we see him at different stages of life: child, teenager, adult, which makes him feel less like a fixed symbol and more like someone growing alongside the world he's in. This kind of hero shows up a lot in modern media. I've seen these ideas explored in anime, especially, for example, heroes who start small, heroes who doubt themselves, or heroes who grow through experience, not dominance. The appeal isn't perfection, it's relatability. For the illustration, I wanted Link to represent the restorer archetype. He is not the hero who changes dramatically on the inside, instead his presence changes the world. Villages are saved, lands are healed, darkness retreats. Design-wise, this means keeping his expression visually calm and balanced. His posture isn't aggressive, his expression is focused, not angry. Light and shadow are both important here. In many Zelda games, Link exists between worlds, light and dark, past and future, safety and danger. Having contrast matters, light on one side, shadow on the other. Not to show corruption, but to show awareness. He understands the darkness of the world, yet chooses to act anyway. This is also why Link works so well as a long-lasting hero. He adapts across generations, art styles and gameplay systems, but the core stays the same. Courage, responsibility, quiet perseverance. When we look at hero archetypes, something that stood out to me as well was connecting them to biblical narratives. The Bible presents heroes differently from some of the modern media or how heroes may appear in fictional worlds. Biblical heroes are rarely idealized. They fail, they doubt, they struggle, they have real lives with hardships and problems. They're not perfect, but there is one figure who fulfills the hero archetype in a way no fictional character can. Jesus Christ. Jesus doesn't conquer through violence, he doesn't seek political power, he doesn't win through strength. Instead, his heroism is defined by sacrifice, truth, and love. Where many heroes save a world temporarily, Jesus offers something eternal. Where heroes defeat enemies, Jesus restores people. What's striking is that he redefines what heroism even means. This includes strength through humility, victory through surrender, and leadership through service. This can be contrary to how heroism may sometimes be portrayed today, as dominance, success, or recognition, and yet this kind of hero resonates deeply because it speaks to something lasting rather than temporary. The Bible is full of heroes, Moses, David, Esther, but all of them point beyond themselves. Their stories aren't about self-glorification, but about purpose within something greater. They don't become the perfect hero. Rather, they realize their flaws and develop a relationship with God through which they learn to become more like a hero. All of this leads to the question, what do hero archetypes give us today? They give us language for things we already feel, the desire to help, the fear of failing, the hope that our lives matter. Heroes show us that transformation is possible, whether it's inner change, outer change, or both. They remind us that doing good doesn't require perfection, that courage often looks ordinary, and that purpose is discovered, not assigned, and to me that may be why heroes remain relevant across cultures, centuries, and belief systems. They reflect who we are and who we could become, whether it's a quiet hero like Link, an everyday hero in real life, or the ultimate hero found in Jesus. These stories invite us to think about our own choices, not in a dramatic way and not in a performative way, but in small, consistent acts of responsibility and care. This may also be the most important lesson heroes teach us, that meaning isn't found in being extraordinary, but in being faithful with what we are given. By making choices in our day-to-day lives, each of us is unique, but we can all be the heroes in our own life stories. Which of the character designs or illustrations in this video did you like most? What are some of your favorite fictional or real-life heroes? Let me know in the comments, and if you'd like to support me, you can check out my Patreon, where you can find longer screen-recorded process videos of my art, for example. It would also mean a lot if you'd leave a like and possibly subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Thank you for watching, have a nice day, bye.